Okay. I want to take this opportunity to thank everyone for coming. Welcome on this beautiful South Dakota day to this campus of South Dakota School of Mines. This will be one of our first of several interviews that we will be having with potential women's basketball coaching candidates. We are excited about the process. We've used the process before and we found it to be very informative and very positive for those individuals that are able to attend. So again, thank you for that. Without further ado, I would like to introduce our first candidate, Ryan Larsen, who is currently the assistant basketball coach at University of South Dakota. He's been there since 2008. Ryan, it's all yours.
Thanks, Mr. Kaiser. Everybody here. Supposed to take a few moments to outline my career. I actually started coaching at Black Hills State University as a student assistant coach. I know some of you don't care for that, but it was a good start for me. The head coach there at the time, head coach Mike Olson, as when I was still a student, he took the head coaching position at Minnesota State University-Moorhead. He asked me to join him at Moorhead in a similar position. I graduated from Moorhead with a degree in secondary education, emphasis in history and geography. Upon graduation from Moorhead, I was hired as the graduate assistant for the men's basketball program at Augustana College. I graduated from Augustana College with a master's degree in education. Upon graduation from Augustana, I was hired at Jamestown College as the assistant men's basketball coach, head men's and women's golf coach, and sports information director. I was at Jamestown for a short stint and was hired back at Augustana College as the assistant men's basketball coach. I was at Augie for 3 years, and the past 5 years I've been the assistant women's basketball coach at the University of South Dakota. As far as highlights of my career, I consider that I have many. While at Black Hills State, we competed in 3 consecutive NAIA national tournaments. When we arrived at Minnesota State Moorhead, the program was in tough shape. Our first year there, we won 8 games. 2 years later, in my third and final year, we had won 18 games. Augustana College is a similar situation to Moorhead. The program was struggling a little bit. I was instrumental in recruiting the class that broke the school record for wins in a 4-year period. Turned that program around. At the University of South Dakota, I was part of the transitioning program. We transitioned from Division II to Division I, which I feel is very applicable to the current situation that the School of Mines is in right now. I think that's a very good strength for my candidacy. The past 3 years, the University of South Dakota, we've competed in 3 consecutive NCAA Division I women's basketball postseason tournaments. The Women's Basketball Invitational Tournament twice, the Women's National Invitational Tournament once. In each of those tournaments, we've advanced to at least the second round of each of those tournaments. This past spring, in our first year eligible for the Summit League Tournament Championship, we competed in the championship game. Came up 3 points short. So we've done really well at the University of South Dakota in our short time of being Division I. I stated earlier that every team that I've coached at the University of South Dakota is placed in the top 25 in grade point average at the end of the year for women's basketball. That's a very good accomplishment for those squads and young women. How do I feel would be a good fit or being successful at the School of Mines? I've stated quite a few already. Every program that I've been a part of has won. I've walked into some programs that weren't winning at the time, but by the time I left, they were winning. I stated earlier that I've been a part of a transitioning program. Again, not only a transitioning program, but a program that was an independent. I've scheduled those games as an independent. I've recruited to an independent school. I've sold the vision to recruits and parents. I've motivated teams who aren't competing for conference championships. I, I feel that's a very big strength for my candidacy. Academics are huge to me. Ultimately, that's really the reason why student athletes choose the South Dakota School of Mines and Technology, is for the education, one of the best educations in the nation, as far as I'm concerned. Upon graduation, they'll be leaders in their chosen field of study. Again, academics is absolutely huge to me. Finally, I'm a South Dakota native. Not only am I a South Dakota native, but I'm from the Black Hills area. I have an absolute love and passion for the Black Hills. My reasons for applying, I just stated my love for the Black Hills. Obviously, it's a perfect fit for me in those regards. Growing up in Spearfish, I know the history of Lady Hardrocker basketball. I don't see any reason why that Lady Hardrocker basketball can't be successful as it once was in the past, especially at the Division II level. There's no reason in my mind why that can't happen at the Division II level. I really enjoy recruiting intelligent student athletes, which we have here at the School of Mines. It's a good fit for me. Biggest challenges that I see right now at the School of Mines, obviously, this is no surprise to everybody, but being without a conference. Recruiting student athletes to a school without a conference, it's difficult. Motivating a team and teaching a team every day that isn't playing in a league, it's a difficult task. Again, I've faced those challenges. I've done that. And I am not deterred by those challenges because of my past successes of where I've been. Current players and recruits, the 14 players on the roster right now and the 5 incoming freshmen, that's my number one priority. As soon as, if I were to be given the opportunity to be a head coach, as soon as I got off the phone from Dr. Kaiser, who would hopefully call me and tell me I'm hired, that is my next job. I wouldn't waste any time doing it. That is, I basically I feel that I have to re-recruit those student athletes. First thing I would tell them is how excited I am to be their new head coach and how honored I am to be the head coach at the School of Mines. Hopefully we would get a chance to set up a time and place where we would be able to meet. I would love to get a chance to meet their families. That first conversation is absolutely essential to building rapport with those returning players. In the weeks and months to come, I'd hope to have many conversations, again by phone, Skype, text messages, whatever it may be, where I can continue to build cohesiveness with that roster. So by the time school starts, that we are comfortable enough with each other that we can just hit the ground running and we feel very comfortable with each other, where we don't have to get to know each other. That would be my plan with the current roster and the incoming freshmen. Recruiting is the lifeblood of university's athletic program success. There's no doubt about it. My background in recruiting is very extensive. Past 5 years, I've been the recruiting coordinator at the University of South Dakota. The 3 years prior to that, I was a recruiting coordinator at Augustana College. I'm a firm believer that you recruit your state first and your bordering state second. For School of Mines to be competitive at Division II, I really feel that we have to go up against, and not only go up against, but beat the other Division II schools in this state, against in-state athletes and regional athletes. That's very, very important for us to be competitive at Division II. A huge advantage that I see that South Dakota School of Mines has over many Division II institutions is that we can recruit nationally here because of our nationally renowned education. The degree programs offered here aren't offered hardly anywhere else in the nation, and that allows us to recruit nationally. My 5 years at the University of South Dakota, I recruited nationally at the Division I level. We'd be able to recruit states and regions that most Division II schools can't. I feel that's a tremendous advantage for us. Lastly, I know that School of Mines has a very big international student body. I've recruited internationally as well at my time at the University of South Dakota. If an international student athlete fits us academically and can help us win ball games, I'm all for it. There's no doubt about it. Offense and defense, I know what I want to run offensively. I'd really like to run a high-paced secondary break into motion offense, looking to score early. I really enjoy coaching motion offense. I think the kids enjoy it. It's hard to guard. I just enjoy it. However, I'm also a big believer that I have to get a very good sense of what their personnel are capable of, their strengths and weaknesses, before I just say that this is what we're going to run and this is how we're going to do it. I'm very flexible offensively. I'm not one that's just going to try to fit a square peg into a round hole and force something on a team that's not good at it. So again, I need to get an idea of what our strengths and weaknesses are offensively before I can really say what we're going to do. But if our roster is good offensively at motion, that's what you'll see that we'll run. Defensively, I'm not nearly as liberal as I am offensively. You'll see hard man-to-man basketball, ball pressure. You'll be in the gaps and we'll contest all shots and we'll rebound tenaciously. A lot of coaches say defense wins championships. You can definitely count me in that group, that's for sure. Fundraising, various financial support for your program will be important. It's very important at all levels. I've done all kinds of fundraisers, from dunk clubs to three-point clubs to raking lawns, T-shirt sales. I've kind of done all of the little fundraisers that programs usually do. I think those are great fundraising ideas. If we need to get our kids an extra pair of sneakers or another travel suit or something like that, I think those are great. But if I want to enhance our student athlete experience by maybe going to a tournament in Hawaii or Puerto Rico, something like that, have a really nice trip, I really think that responsibility falls on me. I'm more than happy to do the heavy lifting on that. I don't think that won't fall on the student athlete's responsibility at all. I'm more than happy to go meet with boosters, businesses, or think of a high price dollar fundraiser to get those funds raised. Currently at USD, I'm working on a little pet project right now. We have 2 Australian athletes on our team, and we're working on fundraising right now to take a foreign tour to Australia in the fall of 2014. I would like nothing more for those young ladies to get the chance to go home and show their teammates their home country, and also to be able to play a number of games in front of their families and friends that don't get to fly across the ocean to watch them play here in the States. So that's a big goal. That's a big project, but I'm not afraid of doing it just because I want those kids to have that opportunity. A very good Coyote booster friend of mine, he and I are working on a number of different fundraising ideas to be able to get that done. Community service, I think that's a very, very important aspect to every athletic program, not just Lady Hardrocker basketball. I'd love to continue the past community service projects that they have done in the past. But I'd also like to put my own stamp on it a little bit as well. Some of the things that I've done prior. Uh, Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Awareness Walk is very near and dear to my heart. Nikki's Fun 5K race. Uh, I was in the polar plunge the past 2 years for Special Olympics. Very great community service project. Um, even the little things. I guess there is no little community service project, but such as going and reading to elementary kids at a school, to be able to get the South Dakota School of Mines brand out more. Visiting hospitals, we've done that. My first couple of years at University of South Dakota, we adopted an ill child to be, official coyote for the year. I'm all for that. Anything that we can do to get out in the community more and to help kids and to enhance our student athlete experience, I'm all about. Starting a junior rockers club, something like that, for a chance to get more people in the seats during a home game, anything, I'm willing to do it.
That kind of ends his official presentation part. We'd now like to open up for the various individuals that are in the crowd to ask any questions. I'm going to open it up over here. Mike, I'm going to let you start.
Okay, great, thanks. We know you're qualified to be the coach, or you wouldn't be here. So it's about fit.
Yeah.
Why do you see yourself as a fit for this particular program and this particular school?
Well, I'd hope to listen to me talk and being around me a little bit. I'd hope that you'd get a sense that I would be a good fit. I'll go back and say, I'm a Black Hills native, and I think that makes me a very good fit. I've grown up watching Lady Hardrocker basketball. I know how good they are. So that how good they have been in the past and how good they could be in the future with the education that they're getting here. The biggest thing, though, to answer your question is that I'm a team player. I am. I know in an athletic department and a college community such as this, you have to work together. You do. Everybody has everybody's back. If I got to be in the chain gang for some football game or scrimmage, I'm your guy. Okay? Volleyball and men's basketball, we share a gym. I'm very, very flexible in those regards. Almost to a point where sometimes I frustrate myself because I'm too giving. That would be the number one thing that I tell you. I'm a team player, and I will have everybody's back here, and I'll be easy to work with, and you will soon learn that I'm pretty enjoyable to work with as well.
Other questions?
You've obviously gone up the coaching ladder, starting as a student assistant, graduate,
Yep.
on up like that. Why do you feel like now is the time for you to try the head coaching?
That's a great question. Really the past 2 or 3 years, I've really felt confident in my abilities to lead my own program. Prior to that, not so much. I was just learning as an assistant and just real confident or cognizant of that. Just trying to make myself the best assistant coach that I could. And it was probably a couple years ago, 2 or 3, where the light bulb just kind of came on a little bit where, you know what? It's time. I can do this. I can run an offense on my own. I can run a defense on my own. I have my philosophies. My management of people has grown immensely in my past 5 years. So why do I feel that? I can't exactly tell you why, but it just really clicked with me that it's time. My next move is to become a head coach, and I know that it's time. Yes.
There's many aspects to being a coach and many skills that you have to have. Which one of the following would you say that you're the best at? Not that you're not good at the others, but probably the best at. Probably not being all inclusive, just jot it down to you. Are you good at developing skills in the players? Recruiting, practices, conducting practices, off-season workouts, game strategy. Where do you feel that your strength is, and maybe also where
All the above? Okay. No, great question. I love being in the gym. I think that's the number one job of a coach. I really, really do. I've told all of our kids everywhere I've been, if you want to come get extra shots up, come grab me out of my office, because I'd much rather be rebounding for you than sitting in my office. I think I do have a pretty good eye for individual instruction. I really do, just because I've seen a lot of growth in players that I've coached in the past 8 years. They have gotten better every year. So I think I really have a good eye for just individual instruction in improving players. I was the lead scout the past few years at USD as far as scouting opponents. I spend a lot of time on film breakdown. I really, really do. And I enjoy that part of it as well, because I think you're learning there as well. I've said for a long time, one of the many great things about coaching is that you're studying a game, is what you're doing. And you're learning something from either your team or watching film on another team. You're learning something. And devising ways to stop an offense or a particular player, or finding ways to score against a team set defense or something like that, I've really grown in the past 5 years, especially working with Coach Ryan Williams and Amy Williams. They put a lot of faith in me in those regards, and I've grasped that opportunity and made the most of it. So out of your list there, I'm pretty good at all of them. I'm not going to lie to you.
You mentioned anything about recruiting. I noticed.
Okay.
I noticed from your USD website that you have 4 or 5 players from South Dakota.
Yep.
You have a couple of international students, and you have some transfer students.
Yep.
What do you think the best mix here would be, or where would the strengths be at this university, maybe compared to the University of South Dakota?
I stated earlier that for school of mines to be competitive at Division II, we really need to focus on in-state athletes. Go up against the other Division II institutions in this state. I think that's very, very important. And then after that, it's the bordering states. Minnesota, Iowa, Nebraska, Wyoming, North Dakota. You have to win those battles to be successful, and that's where we were good at University of South Dakota. We won those battles in-state and in the bordering states as well. I wouldn't stray much from that blueprint, although I alluded to earlier in the recruiting piece here that I think a huge advantage that the School of Mines has over so many Division IIs is to recruit nationally. And that would be third down my list. Win those in-state battles, regional battles, and then be able to recruit nationally just because of the education that they're getting here. You're not going to find a better education. You're honestly not. And go ahead. Okay.
Another question.
Yeah.
You went through the transition at USD from Division II to Division I. Now you're going from NIA to Division II here. How important is the recruiting as far as finding the right type of athlete as compared, I know the education is number one here, but finding the Division II athlete as compared to maybe in the past when NAIA.
That's huge. There's no question. That's huge. You're not going to win Division II games with NAIA athletes. It's not going to happen. The pieces are in place here. There's no doubt about it. The pieces are in place. The facilities are great Division II facilities. They really are. The funding here is really good. The scholarship dollars are good. And there's really no reason in my mind that we shouldn't be able to recruit Division II talent once we're fully fledged Division II, without a conference or not. I'm a firm believer in that. Is it a challenge? Absolutely, it is. But we need to find those Division II players to compete at the Division II level.
As you look at this opportunity, and you had to answer the question earlier, what's your biggest challenge? Where do you think you would hit, if you were the person, where would you hit the ground running?
After the players, recruiting trail, I get certified. Jen, right? First thing I'd figure out is if Division I just carries over to Division II, that'd be great. It doesn't? Darn it. Get certified and ask for that university credit card of your dick and take off. I stated that I like recruiting highly intelligent athletes. I do. It makes my job a lot easier as an assistant coach. I've always pinpointed smart players, and I know a number of them right now. And I know where they're going to be playing in July. I do. I get myself a vehicle, get that credit card, go on the road, buy a couple South Dakota School of Mines polos, t-shirts, and get out and go and be very, very happy and excited about it, because that's the lifeblood of the university right there, the athletics programs. It's the number one job of the head coach and the assistant coach to get on the road and start getting better student athletes in here.
Last note on that.
Yeah.
You said to me on a recruiting theme.
Okay.
This particular school is unique in that we only offer majors in sciences, hard sciences, and engineering. No matter how much we like to recruit that great high school athlete that's a fit for our program, if they want to major in journalism, they aren't coming
Yeah.
here. So how do you work to identify the right student for this particular university that has the interest in the sciences and engineering that we offer and still can play basketball?
That's a great question. I talked a little bit about that with admissions this morning. First thing is just grade point average, test scores. That would be the number one objective in my mind, is to make sure they would get admitted. And then after that, find out what it is that they want to study. If they have a 30 ACT and they're a 4.0 and they want to be a journalism major, I may try to convince them not to be. No offense to anybody in here on that. But I would show them the numbers that these student athletes graduate when they get out of here. If that doesn't at least make them think about attending School of Mines, or at least coming to visit, then I'll probably move on. That would be the biggest thing. Find the grade point averages and the GPAs first, and then finding out what it is they exactly want to study. If it's not anything in the engineering or the sciences, then I'll try to sell them on them. And again, that's where I think this is such a tremendous opportunity. I really do, and why it's such a unique situation where even though a kid may not think that they're interested in engineering right away, I think you can still at least try to persuade them a little bit with the jobs that these student athletes or these athletes are getting upon graduation from the School of Mines. I've been studying it, I've been researching it for a while now, and it's still astounding to me, the jobs that these kids get. If that doesn't grab their attention, like I told you earlier, then it'll be time to move on. We'll go find someone new.
After you did your research, started research about the School of Mines, what did you learn that surprised you most?
How much money these kids make? Every individual meeting that I've had, we've made mention to that. And it's not just the jobs that they get, but the internships that they're doing in the summer. I mean, they're making more money this summer as internships than I did in my first job at Jamestown College. It's not even close, and probably rivaled it at Augustana College. That was very surprising to me. A good surprise. It's just another shining little beacon to sell. So yeah, that was a great surprise.
One of the things that would be different here is you mentioned the internships, and a lot of schools are trying to keep the student athletes on campus over the summer and be able to do, they can't do individual workouts with them, but they have access to their gyms and stuff like that. It doesn't really happen here. You and I have this conversation. I think we only have 2 or 3 student athletes in town for the whole summer, and they come and go. Would that be a big change for you?
Yeah, it would be, especially after this summer, because the NCAA granted Division I men's and women's basketball this year summer access, where we get to work with them individually for 2 hours a week. Is that nice? Yeah, that's pretty nice. I enjoy that, but I'll be very honest when I say that I'm very self-conscious of, how much is too much. I want kids to be kids in the summertime. I want them to go to the river and have fun, be with their friends, go home quite a lot more than they usually do, to spend time with their family and friends. The basketball season is so long. It is such a grind, especially going to be for the School of Mines the next few years, that getting away and recharging your batteries mentally and physically, I'm okay with that. I really, really am. And especially here at the School of Mines, the academic pressures that these kids are under, that'd be just fine with me. I'm okay with that, for them to go off and get recharged. As much as I do like working with them in the summer and seeing them around, seeing them get big in the weight room, there's a lot of times where I don't want to see them in the summer either. Sometimes too much is too much. I want to get away too. Yep.
One more question. Everybody? Media? Good. Ryan, thank you very much for.
Thank you, everybody, for coming.